And now it should be up on here. I can exit that out. I can exit that out. All right, go to our stream, buddy. Let me know when you're on it.
See if we're playing.
Yep, I want you to listen to a new audio file I put in.
Okay.
Let me know when you're on
Hold
it.
on. Yep, hold on 1 second. All right, Loose Lugs Podcast. All right, we're live right here. I'll turn up my volume. All right, Loose Lugs Podcast.
All right, you ready?
We're live right here. I'll turn up my volume. All right, Loose Lugs Podcast.
All right, you ready?
We're live right here. I'll turn up my volume. All right, Loose Lugs Podcast.
All right, you ready?
We're live right here.
All right, turn it off, because you're echoing like a mofo.
Yeah, that was great.
That'll be during the intro.
Oh yeah, I had it. I had the radio on Sunday of his. I'm like,
I didn't. Ryan, I did not. I know we'll talk about it more, but I did not move from the position I was laying in out of superstition until the white flag was taken. Because I said if I move, the caution's going to come out.
Good thing you're in a comfortable position there, buddy. I'm gonna need another brewski. Binks, go get Daddy a beer.
I guess all that's left is to share it.
Then get a beer.
I'm gonna get 3.
Yeah, I might get a cooler.
I'm gonna mute my mic for a second.
Yep, BRB.
Actually, before I mute my mic, I'm going to. For some reason, we're not live anymore. Maybe we are. Yeah, we're live. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Tony wants confetti.
What's up?
Tony wants confetti. Patrick's watching Family Matters and 2.5 Men clips. 2.5 Men is one of my favorite shows.
Cheers, guys. So Tony wants confetti. Maybe when you crack open a beer and you get the beer suds, that'll be a confetti.
There's gonna be very, very little split down the middle tonight. I'm allowed to be a fan tonight, damn it.
That's right. Damn it. I'm just trying to get comfortable right now. Damn dog. That's with this damn cushion.
All right, I will be right back.
I'm ready.
I'll be right back.
Yep. Oh yeah, good old football game. Oh, now here's a couple cold ones.
All right.
By the way, I don't know if you saw it before you left.
What's up? I can't see it because I got something in the way of it. But what is it?
It's a cooler.
Oh. Hey, so
Go big or go home.
you ready?
Yeah, go big or go home.
All right, roll an intro.
Let's go.
Hey, gentlemen, start your engines! I guess I'm out of control! Ah! Yes! Ah!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 87 of the Loose Lugs podcast. I am your host, AJ. Ryan, give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah, baby.
Oh, man. As you heard it there on the intro, we are celebrating tonight as fans. Chase Elliott, Cup Series champ, baby. Let's get it.
That's right.
Oh,
Now,
man.
about that.
And I think I messed it up because I was too excited to play it. I cut the audio for the intro music all the way out when I played it. So there's like a split second of no audio, and that's okay because that's how excited we are here.
That's right, baby. Man, AJ, I know you're on a high horse right now, but
Hey,
how
pal,
the hell are you?
I'm
How the
gonna,
hell are you?
Put this up here and take a listen. Maybe it'll come through on the mic. Got that? It's open. It's an open beer now.
That is right. It's open beer.
Let's go.
Open beer night on the podcast.
Oh man, so excited. What's going on, Ryan?
Not a whole hell of a lot. Had a nice weekend. Unfortunately, the passing of Alex Trebek, one of the great game show hosts of all time. So RIP to the GOAT, Alex Trebek. Cheers. Enjoyed some racing this weekend. Little football. I mean, I think that's what they're trying to call it. My fantasy team is, well, my fantasy team, and I don't want to get started on that.
Yeah, mine's pretty much done, and I'm not even sure why I'm even setting lineups anymore for it, but
Yeah, my bench scores more points than the team I start. It's how it's been all week. Like last week, I didn't start Aaron Rodgers against San Francisco, and I know I should have. He ends up getting 37 points. Curtis Samuel goes like 28 or 29. Why the guys I start, nothing. So, yeah, in the basement I am.
I think that I still have the most waiver wire acquisitions between both my leagues, and I'm still defeated in both leagues. So,
Oh, man. Yeah, fantasy football is fine straight there, boys.
I have about had enough with it.
Yeah, so I know you're doing well because of what happened over the weekend with Chase winning, but
I'm
yeah,
just a little happy.
just a wee bit.
My
Why don't you
wallet, my
tell?
wallet is not happy. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
why don't you tell the folks what you ended up getting? Because you told me Sunday evening as you're going to pick up some pizza.
We got a flag, we got a hat, a couple shirts, some decals. Um, I don't know what else. I got a couple diecasts too. I think I just may have pre-ordered every finish of the race win diecast from Lionel Racing.
Man,
um,
unreal.
this has been for me as a fan, and like I said, this is gonna be more fan based show. um, for me as a fan and watching NASCAR for my entire life, this is the first champion I've had, so I'm going all out for this one.
I don't blame you. I would be doing the same thing. I definitely want to get the championship hat that he wore in Victory Lane on Sunday. That was a pretty cool looking hat, and possibly a shirt down the line as well. I'm still waiting on my November speed crate, and that still hasn't come through in the mail yet. So I've been trying to contact them. Any phone number I call from them is saying it's disconnected. So yeah,
Wow,
I'm
they
waiting
knew
for
you
my
were
new.
calling. They got rid of you real quick.
Yeah, no kidding. What the hell?
um,
But
Ryan, we made
yeah,
it to the end of the season, man. It was in doubt earlier this year. Coming out of Phoenix, going to Atlanta, cars are getting unloaded from their haulers on a Friday,
yeah.
and we get the notifications that teams are getting told to pack up and head home. They are they are postponing the remainder of the season due to COVID, and kind of thought that was it, man. That
I didn't think we were going to see it either. And I know I'm going to touch on this a little bit later in my little rant segment I do, but it's not going to be a rant. So we got to stay tuned for that. But I have to agree. I didn't think when's NASCAR going to come back?
we
What are they going to do? Are they going to be able to get to Phoenix?
we went
Are we
what,
going to,
almost 3 months without a race.
yeah, 3 months, exactly 3 months without a race. And then they came back and they came back with a vengeance.
I've got to say, this was for the times. It made you forget about everything on a Sunday afternoon, a Wednesday night. We had a Thursday night
Was
one a couple
awesome.
weeks ago, not planned.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it does not say enough for what NASCAR did to get this back and to get these moments this weekend, crowning 3 champions. It just all credit goes to them, the track officials, the teams that work behind the scenes. And, it was really a group effort. And even when they had races with fans in the stands, you didn't hear of any COVID outbreaks afterwards. And just
No,
in this
nothing.
introduction segment, I just want to say first and foremost, hats off are to them. They are champions in of themselves this year.
Yeah, I remember reading a rumor that it was just going to be Cup, no Xfinity or truck. Then they got rolling with that. Okay, if we cancel a race, do a doubleheader with like Homestead got the doubleheader with the Xfinity Series. One of the races got canceled. They didn't run out at MIS. Excuse me, but like you said, AJ, hats off to NASCAR track officials, teams, sponsors, drivers. List goes on.
We in thinking back to it, there was only 2 drivers that missed races due to COVID-19, and Jimmy Johnson, Austin Dillon, and they were out for 1 week, came back, and without skipping a beat, really. It's this is just a job well done by NASCAR in this season. I just wanted to get that out there before we even go any forward with anything else.
Hats off too as well to the TV networks for Fox to doing their races at the Steve Burns Hall is what they call it, where they were basically watching the race, calling the race on TV. Still felt like Gordon and Joy were at the track. NBC, same with them. They broadcast the races from Charlotte until I think it was like the final 3 races, Texas, Martinsville, and Phoenix. They were at the track for that, which was cool to see the announcers back at the track. Junior always pointing out whenever there's a spin or a wreck. love that about Junior.
I was,
But yeah,
well, I was listening to Door Bumper Clear, and on their show, they said that we were doing podcasts on video games. Because in the middle of that, we thought iRacing was going to be the only NASCAR we had for the rest of the year.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
even
and
that was fun. That was still fun to watch.
for sure.
Just an awesome way to end the season. You know, if you're a fan.
I see you're taking a drink of beer there, buddy.
What's that?
I see you're taking a drink there.
Yeah, we both took a drink at the same time, but that's okay. We didn't get to record that much this year. Just it was really busy from my end. It wasn't even on Ryan's end. It was all me this year as to why we didn't record that much. But we're gonna look forward to a better 2021. We're gonna try to get out there every week for sure. And I got more about that coming up on White Flag. This is a different introduction though, because I mean, there's really only one thing that there's only one big topic to talk about, and that was the championship weekend as a whole. So you might not have our typical banter back and forth, but I will ask Ryan how his weekend was, like we normally do. How was the weekend, Ryan?
Very, very nice. We went winter clothes shopping for Logan. He needed a snowsuit because Dave's gonna definitely take him outside and play in the snow once we finally get some. It was 70 degrees here the last 4 or 5 days, or 3 or 4 days, excuse me.
I mean, we had
and now we're right back. Yeah, I see that. And now we're back into the normal November weather. Still trying to deal with COVID. See how that plays out. I know the cases are rising here in Michigan. So definitely we're taking it step-by-step precaution reasons. And unfortunately, no more NASCAR after this. So till February.
You know what's
90-some days.
You know what's really weird about it is, like, I was driving home today from work and I'm like, all right, where are they this weekend? And it's like, oh, damn, that's right. It's over. It's no more.
So now my attention now be fully divided to 7 hours of commercial-free football.
Patrick says 93 days until Daytona. I'm still wanting to debrief from this season first before I think ahead to Daytona. But I mean, even Daytona next year, there's so much to look forward to. New faces in some new, or same faces in some new places.
Yep.
Returning drivers. Next year there's so many storylines already, and it hasn't
While
even
you're
started
in the
yet.
broadcast booth. While you're in the broadcast booth, I'm definitely looking for that.
At what point does Fox get their first FCC complaint?
Let's go Auto Club.
I just hope we don't get a mellowed Clint Boyer. I want the same Boyer we got every, Sunday.
Yeah, especially with
11, 12 years?
Yeah, like when he calls the Xfinity races, he doesn't hold back. And you know what? I think that's the kind of guy he is in general as a whole, that he's reared up, ready to go.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like Rick Allen, I like Rick Allen. I loved him when he was doing the ARCA cars and the trucks on Speed or FS1.
Yeah, I was actually listening to a couple highlights.
It seems like they toned him down a little bit.
I was listening to a lot of his highlights were coming up on something that NASCAR posted today from that 2003 truck season. I was like, man, he really hasn't changed all too much.
Not really.
The same Rick Allen. It's like you said, it's a little bit more mellowed out, toned down, but you could tell like he hasn't really missed anything in these last, what was that, 20 years ago they were showing it from 2003?
Yeah,
17 years ago.
Unreal.
So, I'm just trying to go down here, make sure we hit everything here. Also, I had to cough.
I did too. That's why I muted mine like too. But during my little rant segment, I am going to ask a quick question. Feel free to comment on our Twitter page, anything like that. I'll give you guys a little hint. Most memorable moment of 2020. And actually, I'll ask it right now since I'm here. I'm already talking about it. Most memorable moment of 2020, was it seeing Donald Trump give the command at the 500? AJ, I know you were there in person to see the limo
crazy
go around.
I don't care how you feel about him, but that was That was
Yes.
awesome to see in person.
And it was pretty cool to see on TV.
It feels like forever ago.
Yeah, it does. To see Ryan Newman, that horrific crash at the end of the 500, to walking out of that hospital a few days later, the whole what was going on with Bubba Wallace, to see how NASCAR, bam, got behind Bubba more than any other sport that's gotten behind an athlete.
I've got something to say about that a little bit later on.
Okay,
in
all
our
right.
news segment. So, what do you
The
say? What do you say we get into some gas and go, Ryan? Let's just start it and we'll hit on
I'll
it.
finish. Yep, I'll finish questions later.
Okay. Gas and go. Let's recap the championship weekend. Kicking things off on Friday was the Gander RV Outdoors Truck Series, where Sheldon Creed wins his first ever Truck Series championship, first championship among any of NASCAR's 3 series, and a lot of video surfaced after that of him in those stadium trucks afterwards.
Yep.
And his championship there, and that was pretty wild to see.
Yes, it was.
What was even more wild than that was the move that he made to win this race on a overtime restart, dives all the way down to the bottom on fresh tires,
Almost hits the wall.
He almost hits the inside wall, passes everybody and their uncle on the track to get up into the lead. Ryan, what did you think of that race on Friday?
The restarts always, no matter where the start finish line is at Phoenix, have been incredible. I thought Phoenix as a whole weekend provided a great final race for the year to crown your champions. Awesome job. I was, like I said on last week's show, man, I was pulling for that 21 truck Zane Smith to get it done. But as you said, a great move, a great pass, taking the 4 fresh tires on that late caution. Yeah, you have them. Might as well use them, see what happens. And guess what? Got to the front, won the race, won the championship, and a great burnout too, by the way.
Yeah, you really feel bad for Brett Moffitt in this situation,
Yes,
who was just
yes, you do.
dominating this race. Looked like he was going to win the title, and a really cool Jimmy Johnson tribute paint scheme. And that caution just comes out. I think he was out in front by like 5 seconds or something.
Yeah,
I mean, just cruising to a championship win. And then
he had no tires either.
Gets bumped on the restart.
Yep. By Ben Rose, by the way.
Yeah, by the 99 truck. Who has just got into everybody these playoffs. Yeah, just
he's not on anybody's Christmas card list.
The truck series as a whole this year was very entertaining.
Yep, I'm looking forward definitely to 2021. See what young faces we can get in this series now. I know Haley Deegan, she will be full-time in the trucks. Awesome to see for her. 2021 is going to be just like 2020.
Yeah.
Hopefully without the COVID and fans in the stands.
Yeah. Your stage winners of this one, first stage, Zane Smith, who had an awesome truck, just couldn't get it done. Second stage was Brett Moffitt, and your race winner was Sheldon Creed. Your top 5, Sheldon Creed, Zane Smith, Chandler Smith, Christian Eckes, and Rafael Lessard.
Yep, Lessard, yep.
And your final standings here, and Ryan's going to disappear off your screen because for some reason it likes to go away when I go to a different web browser. Sheldon Creed, Zane Smith, Brett Moffitt, Grant Enfinger, who just really wasn't up there much during the race.
No, I was kind of shocked at that truck. That truck normally comes in, a couple adjustments, and it never seemed to come in for him, unfortunately. So
yeah. Matt Crafton, Austin Hill, Ben Rhodes, Christian Eckes, Tyler Ankrum, Todd Gillen, Derek Kraus, Rafael Lessard, Johnny Sauter, Tanner Gray, Stuart Friesen, Austin Wayne Self, Kate Fogelman, Jordan Anderson, Chandler Smith, Spencer Boyd. That rounds out your top 20. It was a solid truck season.
Yeah, it was. Oh yeah, and I love the length of some of these truck races. You get guess what? It's a short race. We have to go pedal to the metal, gas all the way to the floor, and that's what I love about the trucks.
Yeah, there's a lot to prove in the truck series, and that makes it so much fun to watch. Because I mean, it's it's putting your name out there. It's getting noticed. It's working your way up. It's racing to make a name for yourself is the best way to put it.
And I tell you what, I think some of these guys, I'm going to throw a couple names out right now. Sheldon Creed, Zane Smith, Eckes, I think Lassard down the road. I think they get Xfinity rides here within 1 to 2 years.
Lassard just really came on there at the end of the season, winning Talladega and some solid runs there to end it. It looked good, really good for him. I'm excited to see what happens next year.
I know there was one of the guys, I'm not sure, he's 17 years old from Michigan, and I'm like, oh, cool. West side of the state, though, but he's from Michigan, so.
Next race.
I like to see them Michigan guys do good.
Next race is Daytona 2021, which would be, 91 days away?
Yeah, 91. Yeah, that Friday. Friday night.
Yeah, looking forward to it. We're not going to give any predictions this week, but we got plenty of time for that.
Yeah.
Moving on the
maybe in our season preview extravaganza
that Ryan has such named over the years.
That I have.
Moving on to the Xfinity Series, Austin Cindric pulls off the upset championship win. I say the upset because Chase Briscoe. Last week, both Ryan and I picked to win the championship. Yeah. Unfortunately, he spun late in the race, setting up a late race restart. Terrible time to have that happen to him. Justin Allgaier leading at the time. Once again, thought Allgaier was going to win this one. It was his to lose. Caution comes out. 2-lap shootout. Austin Cindric pulls off what was almost identical to the same move that Sheldon Creed did just the night before.
The late caution
to win the championship. It was almost like deja vu all over again, as Yogi Berra would say.
It would be. But with the restarts, I love that. I love they don't have the out of bounds rule at Phoenix, which is awesome. 5, 6, 7 wide going into what is it now? Turn 1. Just an awesome race. And my heart when I seen Chase spin out, my heart dropped for the guy. I know he was probably very emotional in the car. Heart goes out to him, but Austin Cindric, hey, guess what? You won the Daytona road course. You won the championship.
Just like Sheldon Creed did.
Yep. But like I said, it was the Xfinity Series is producing a lot of stars. I got 3 of them. Briscoe, Cindric, Gregson are going to be stars of the sport for years to come.
Speaking of Noah, kind of controversial there at the end. Why didn't he help out Allgaier?
Yeah, that's something. Maybe those two are beefing.
I know they had some run-ins. This
Bristol.
They had a lot of run-ins this year, but I thought they were starting to kind of,
patch it together.
Yeah, patch it together and get back on the right page. It just, I get Noah's trying to win that, but I don't know. I guess I'm thinking bigger picture here. You're trying to go out there and win a race if you have a shot at it, but
I don't remember if Junior was calling that race on NBC, but I'm sure he could mute his mic and be like, "Hey, how about Justin here? Noah, get that title."
Yeah, I just think that team-wise, it wasn't a smart decision because obviously before the caution came out, Justin looked like he was going to march his way to a championship, and it just didn't happen.
I was like you on Sunday with that. Please no caution, because I like Allgaier. And I'm like, come on, no. Oh, damn it, there it is.
Yeah, I didn't know why Noah wouldn't have helped there. Just bigger picture thinking.
Yep. Like I said, the Xfinity Series, like all of racing, we didn't know if they were going to get back together. They came back. Chase Briscoe was the story of the year. Unfortunately, playoff time, crunch time, unfortunately, just didn't come through, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Eddie's in the chat. What up, Eddie? EG3 in the house.
What's up, Eddie?
Come celebrate with us, Eddie. Stage winners, first stage, Chase Briscoe. Second stage, Austin Cindric. And your race winner was Austin Cindric. Your top 5, Austin Cindric, Noah Gragson, Brandon Jones, Michael Annett, and Justin Allgaier. See, I'm starting to get better with the Brandon Jones, Eric Jones thing.
How long have we been doing this show?
It's been a long time, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Your final standings, Austin Cindric, Justin Allgaier, Justin Haley, Chase Briscoe. Haley finished in front of Briscoe because of that spin. Noah Gragson, Brandon Jones, Ross Chastain. Honestly, the surprise, Harrison Burton not being in that Final Four. Michael Annett, Ryan Sieg, Brandon Brown, who had a great season. Riley Herbst, Jeremy Clements, Alex LeBay, Josh Williams, 15th. That's awesome for those guys.
Yes, it is.
Maya Snyder, Daniel Hemrick, Anthony Alfredo, Jesse Little, Tommy Joe Martins, rounding out your top 20. Ryan, did you see Mike Harmon going over the wall this weekend trying to catch tires?
No, I did not see that.
Oh, man. You got to go on Twitter and watch that. I woke up Tuesday morning, and I opened up Twitter, and I see the video of it, and I'm just laughing hysterically at it, and I didn't know who it was. Then I listened to the Door Bumper Clear on the way to work, and they're talking about it, how it was Mike Harmon, and I was like, oh my God, that makes it so much better. Harmon goes over the wall trying to catch tires. It's a too many men over the wall penalty, I do believe.
Yeah. Tony in the chat asked a very good question. Top moment of the season for both of us. Tony, I will answer that question for you in the Ryan's rant segment. Like I said, it's not much of a rant, so. And I can obviously tell what AJ's is.
It's more of a recap.
Yeah.
It's more of Ryan's recap.
Hey, that's right. Ryan's recap. It still starts with a double R.
There you go. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. That'll be coming up here shortly. Moving on to the NASCAR Cup Series, and Ryan.
Yep.
Who won the championship?
Denny. Oh no, he didn't. That's right. Chase Elliott, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and as
sir.
you can tell, there's a hatred for Denny Hamlin.
I really thought going into that Denny was going to be coming out on top. It's who I picked in the preseason. But
I honestly, I have to agree with AJ. Him and Harvick were the class of the field. If one of them two got into the championship, I thought they were going to do it. I don't know what it is, whether it be Homestead or now Phoenix, with Denny getting into the Final Four, and just I don't know if it's not something with the team that's not clicking or what it is, but out of all 4 of the playoff guys, he had the worst car out of all of them.
Yeah. So Chase Elliott wins the championship, wins the race. Super excited about that. 5 wins on the year. Boy, this is a great year.
The Daytona Road Course.
Hey, which is the shirt that I'm wearing right now.
Oh, the Daytona Road. Hey, I got the Watkins Glen shirt on.
He pre-race inspection.
Eddie.
We are going through it. I'm not home at the time. I'm not even paying attention to Twitter or anything. I'm getting some things done, some errands done before the week begins. And I get a message from you, Ryan, saying that Chase failed inspection. He has to start at the back. And I was like, are you kidding me? Of course, we get the start on the pole, and we have to go to the back and give it up. But the good thing was he got to keep that first pit stall, which I think is key at a track like Phoenix. And then I started doing some searching online, and in 2016, when Jimmy Johnson won the championship, he had to start in the back, went on to win the race and the championship. So he had some good history on his side.
I would say so.
After the green flag drops after going to the back, first 30 laps, they have a competition caution. He's already up to 10th. That car was flying through the field. It was light years faster than any other car on the track. At the end of stage 1, finished 3rd. So that tells you how quick that car was this weekend.
I know there's a lot of non-Chase Elliott fans out there. Oh, NASCAR should find something because of you failed inspection twice. Did he fail it the third time? No, they got the car where it needed to be for NASCAR to let them get on that track, not do the drive-through through the pits. And guess what? He won. It's over. Deal with it.
Yeah. Several prophecies, if you will, were completed. The first one being the 1988 championship year, where the Dodgers, Lakers, and his father Bill Elliott won the championship.
That's right. I remember you sending that to me.
This year, it was the Dodgers winning the World Series, Lakers winning the NBA championship, and another Elliott, Chase Elliott, winning the championship. Most likely is going to be the first most popular driver and championship winner since his father did it back in 1988. And Ryan, you mentioned earlier that Sheldon Creed and Austin Cindric both won the Daytona Roval, went on to win the championship. Well, lo and behold, Chase Elliott wins the Daytona Roval, goes on to win the championship. I think it says a lot about the way Phoenix is and how it's a flat track, and it kind of has the same characteristics as a road course would. So it's not shocking to me there. And when I was listening to the PTM podcast this week, they mentioned that a stat that I sent to you after I heard it. Chase is 24, winning his first championship. Jimmy Johnson was 26 in his first Cup start.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that just, it tells you how young the drivers are nowadays, though.
They're getting called up. Yeah.
Jimmy being 26, coming into the Cup Series was considered young then.
Can you imagine if the roles are like, if say Jimmy Johnson came up at 22, 21? How many championships? Yeah, does he surpass 7? Does he go to 8? Does he do maybe that double digits?
Yeah,
don't know.
Though it's really crazy to think about. And just speaking of Jimmy Johnson, this being his last race, such a class act Jimmy is. End of the race, takes his lap around for the final time. And I don't know if it was Cliff Daniels or his spotter who came over the radio and said, burn it down, Jimmy. And he came right back and said, nope, those are for Chase. Those are for the champion. Like, it just, that defines who Jimmy Johnson is as a competitor, as a racer, as a person. He's always been a class act. That was awesome for him to do that. Goes out with a top 5 finish.
Yes, he does. I was awesome to see.
Maybe not the last couple seasons he had wanted, naturally, but just such a fitting way for him to go out. It's been great watching Jimmy since he started in 2002, and for a good stretch there. I'm sure you and I have both had our moments where we're like, this guy needs to stop winning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think I said it last week on the show, and I know Tony can, vouch for me. I had never been the Jimmy Johnson die-hard fan. I respect everybody that gets behind the wheel and does this for a living. But there was a moment in time that stood out to me with Jimmy Johnson. It's the All-Star race. They're introducing everybody. Everybody's throwing out hats. Jimmy comes out with the helmet, signs it, gives it to a young fan. I think I talked about it on the podcast. And from that moment, I'm like, this guy is a good guy. This guy knows what it's all about.
I mean, I think back to another Chase moment. Watkins Glen gets his first win, runs out of gas in the back straightaway. Who pushes him all the way back to the front stretch?
Jimmy.
And then, you come forward to this weekend, and this to me was awesome. And we're going to talk about it a little bit more later. So symbolic. Jimmy's going around for his Polish victory lap, farewell lap in this situation. And he meets Chase in turn 3? Turn 2, maybe? Who knows?
I don't know. They switched it around.
Anyway, and they stop, and they celebrate together, window to window. And I looked over at my dad, who was watching this with me at the time, and I said, man, that's kind of like a passing of the torch moment right there. That's the old guard handing it over, saying the kingdom's yours.
Yep, I agree.
And right after that, I think it was Junior comes over on the broadcast and said, "Is that the passing of the torch right there?" Or it was Rick Allen, I think, who actually said it. Is that the passing of the torch right there? And I was like, man, I think so.
And like we've said with Jimmy though, like they asked him in the interview, why didn't you do a burnout? And he was like, honest, that's for the champion. Let Chase enjoy his moment. If Logano, Keselowski, or Denny would have won the championship, I guarantee you Jimmy would have done the same thing because that's the kind of guy that Jimmy is. And I've learned to respect that over the years. I would love to have seen him get another win. I do have a lot of Jimmy Johnson stuff in this household now.
Hey,
Thank
that's
you,
your
Sarah.
wife. That's your wife.
Yep. I said thank you, Sarah. Love you. But no, like I said, I've grown to respect the hell out of this guy. And I sent my dad a message and I'm like, Dad, it's kind of sad to see Jimmy retiring right now. And he's like, I'm happy. And I'm like, Dad, some of the stuff he does outside of the track with the charities and everything like that, what he does for the kids, and my dad's like, you got a good point there.
So Tony said he's always been a good guy. Don't mean I gotta love his driving, but the older he gets, the more you forget about his prime crabby Jimmy times. And that's true.
Same with Jeff.
That is true. And Jeff as well. Kyle Busch, another one who, man, he can be the biggest hothead in the garage area, but you respect the hell out of him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But moving on here a little bit, Ryan.
Yeah, that's good.
Brad Keselowski easily had the second best car out there, and had a really good shot at winning. Pit issue after pit issue after pit issue. I hate to pin the loss of a championship on one sole thing, but his pit crew cost him that championship this weekend.
I would have to say I have to agree with you 100% on there. Because like you said, he definitely had the second best car, and it showed. He finished second in this race.
There was only one car this entire race that went up and passed race winner Chase Elliott, and it was at the end of stage 2, and it was Brad Keselowski.
And it was something,
the one car that could compete with him, and his pit crew just kept killing him time after time after time.
And it was that last green flag cycle of pit stops that when everybody, I think it was Logano came early, and I'm like, all right, well, this is going to bring everybody else in. And when Chase got by him, I'm like, man, if they don't get a caution, Chase has got this. And then they said something about the 2, how he was moving through the field. But by that time, it just had that nice lead. Who knows what happens if a caution comes out? Do they go back down to pit road? Do they stay out? I mean, who's to know? But it didn't happen.
Thank God a caution didn't come out. So let me go over this with you, since I mentioned it earlier and I never went over it.
And Tony says, I have story time. This is AJ's story time.
For the last 50 laps after that green flag pit stop, I did not move from the position I was laying in until 49 laps later, 1 to go. Because I was just that superstitious. I was like, there's going to be a caution that comes out. And then after the fact, you hear Alan Gustafson and Chase Elliott saying, we were sold on a caution coming out. I think all of us held our breath for those final 50 laps. Fans, driver, crew. It was team. And also, how great was it to see Mr. H back at the track?
God,
that moment they all had afterwards. It was just awesome. It was an awesome weekend. It was great to see. Joey Logano is who I was about to move on to, though. He had handling issues, and you saw it late on that last green flag pit cycle where he came out about a second, maybe 2 in front of the 9 and the 2. He just had handling issues all day, was always loose, and Chase took advantage of that. Shoved him all the way into the corner, got around him, and which I love the aggressive driving. I think that's what's been missing in Chase's driving style, and he finally showed it these last 2 weeks. And he took advantage of Joey just being loose. And we talk about Denny Hamlin, where he was there. It's another championship no-show for Denny.
Mm-hmm. He was the worst car out of the floor.
It wasn't even close.
No, it wasn't. And that's what floored me the most, because I told Sarah, I'm like, I got a bad feeling about this race. I think the 11 is going to get it, and I'm going to hear it all week from all these Toyota people that support Gibbs, and look at Denny. he's going to be an owner. Now he's going to be an owner champion. And I'm like,
And I get that the top 4 drivers were the playoff drivers, but like the 9, the 2, and the 22 were just light years ahead of where Denny was that entire race.
I do have a
Let's
little
go.
bit of gripe right now.
What's that?
What's up? I get it's the championship. I get it's the championship, and you're focused on those 4 drivers. I barely heard any mention of Clint Boyer, and same with Jimmy.
You know,
I mean,
I was
in other battles.
I was just about to say, Ryan, Clint Boyer and Matt Kenseth. We're assuming for Matt Kenseth it was his last race as well, but Clint Boyer too, and there was just really no mention of Clint Boyer, which is unfortunate.
And I don't know if that's the NBC, the producers, I mean,
we mentioned Clint Boyer first in the show before we mentioned Jimmy.
Yeah, that we did. I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't know if that's a network thing. Be like, hey, you got to showcase these 4 guys. You got to showcase these 4 guys. Well, guess what? There's 30 some other guys on that track right now battling, and they hardly any mention of them. I mean, it's a great race, but shame on them for not.
That brings up a question I had that I've seen on Twitter, social media, different sites. Do you think the championship 4 cars are better than everybody else's? Like, I hate to use this word, but cheated up better? Or is it the other competitors are letting them by knowing they're racing for a championship? Because Chase ran through that field like none other.
Oh, yeah. Like they were standing still.
Yeah, your top 4 was the 4 playoff drivers. What
I
do you
think
that comes
like that
down
in every
to?
series.
What does that come down to, though? Does it come down to NASCAR being lenient on the championship drivers and what they bring? Is it the other competitors moving over, knowing that they're racing for something bigger than what they are? Because it almost seems like a situation that you're having where it's pointless for the 36 other competitors to even show up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, too, though. This is, Kevin Harvick obviously is the dominant driver of Phoenix Raceway. We all know this.
It had a terrible day.
Where the hell did he finish? He finished 7th. Never sniffed the lead at all, to my knowledge.
By Kevin Harvick standards at Phoenix. Top 10 is not bad. No, by any means.
But this is the thing. If you were Kevin Harvick, knowing that you missed out to go to this race, wouldn't you not want to go out there, dominate this race, and win it and say, hey, guess what? I should have been the champion. I should have won. I should be the dominant guy here. And he was nowhere to be found. None of these guys were. And part of me is hoping that that's not the case. There's the other part of me saying I think that is the case, where NASCAR is like, all right, the championship 4, you get a little extra something here. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. Another thing that's been coming up this week, Ryan, does there need to be a change to the playoffs? Does a regular season champion need to be there? I am very strong in saying no. The regular season champion, and like I said on the Lap Traffic podcast, Brandon did his question this week, and he mentioned on the show, does there need to be some changes made? Well, I think no. A regular season champion is a regular season champion. You do not have teams in these stick and ball sports that they'll be the best team in the regular season. They don't get an automatic bid to their championship.
Kind of like the Patriots when they went undefeated?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to bring it up.
I mean, they almost lost in the first round matchup, the divisional round, I think against San Diego, or was that the AFC Championship game? They almost lost one of those in between, but yeah, you don't get that automatic. There's a reason why there's a playoff and a regular season. Just because you're the best regular season driver doesn't mean you're going to be the best playoff driver.
My only gripe is that Harvick had 9 wins in the regular season, or he won like 7 wins in the regular season. Why not give him 7 extra points? Give him
He's
a
already
point
getting extra points, Ryan.
They just gotta do. I don't know. I mean,
see, this is where I'm coming from, though. Like, he's already getting a point cushion to help him out by winning the regular season championship. If you don't perform for those final 10 races, tough luck. You're not in it.
And guess what? His Texas race was absolutely atrocious, and so was the Martinsville
I
race.
give him the benefit of the doubt on the Texas race only because he was the first car through the damp area of the track, slid up and hit the wall.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I give the benefit of the doubt, but let's say he moves Joey at Kansas and gets
Which he
around
should.
Joey. He's in. Joey's out at that point if everything lines up the way it does. So
Tony.
a lot of people also say, I saw that earlier. That's what I was laughing about. And I see a lot of people saying that they should add a fifth driver and it should be the regular season champion. Ryan, what was our biggest gripe when the chase field went from 12 to 16 drivers?
Some guys in it that shouldn't be in it.
Some guys in it that shouldn't be in it, but too many people now are competing for this. You're letting half the field essentially compete for the championship. So moving us from 4 to 5 because we want a regular season champion in there for sure, that's doing exactly what you hated before.
I mean, can the Lions make the playoffs for being the Lions? I mean, can they get that?
Tony says, could they do something like the President's Trophy for the driver with the most wins, best finish? If you're referring to the trophy itself, just like an actual trophy, they used to do that. Didn't they do that? Yeah, they still do that, don't they?
I think so.
I thought they still did that, Tony. I think they still do that. They give a trophy for the regular season champion. But I don't know. I feel like if you're not going to perform in the playoffs, then you don't deserve to be there.
No, not at all.
Stage winners in this one, as we have dragged this segment on a little bit. First stage, Joey Logano. Second stage, Brad Keselowski. And your race winner was Chase Elliott. Top 5, Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, and Jimmy Johnson. Your final standings here, as I'm pulling it up. You had Chase, Keselowski, Logano, Hamlin, Harvick, who finished 5th. Bowman, great season for Bowman, finishing 6th, moving to the 48 next year. Truex 7th. Then Kyle Busch, who finally got that win at Texas. Ryan Blaney, Kurt Busch, Austin Dillon. Good year for Austin, getting a win at Texas. Clint Boyer, Matt DiBenedetto, William Byron 14th, finally got that first career win. Congratulations, Ryan.
And real quickly, since you did mention William right there, I hate to cut you off. How about a tip of the cap to my mind, one of the greatest crew chiefs of all time, Chad Canals.
Yeah, Chad Canals. Yeah,
it was his last race too. He did a nice little speech before the race, how he always thanks the sponsors and all that. He said it really hasn't hit him yet until I think it's going to hit him at once he goes to Daytona, not being there and all that. So
it fits what he told Jimmy. They were going to go out together.
Yeah, and they did, and I there is nothing wrong with that.
No, I think it's great.
I kind of wish they would have stayed together for the entire time. That's just me, but
sometimes change is needed, Ryan. Sometimes.
Yep.
Continuing on, Eric Almirola, Cole Custer, Rookie of the Year, getting that first career win this year, which I think there needs to be a change to that Rookie of the Year deal because I thought Tyler Reddick had a better year.
Oh, I did too. Reddick had a great year. Bell came on at the end there strong. I think you're going to see big things out of him next year in that 20 car.
Eric Jones moving on to the 43 next year is 17th. Jimmy Johnson, Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell rounding out your top 20. The drivers finishing below that top 20, Ryan. Chris Buescher, Bubba Wallace, Michael McDowell, Ricky Stenhouse. And I'm going to continue down here a little ways to 29th, Ryan Preece, who had a tough season.
I would say so.
Had a really good 2019 and just could not back it up in 2020.
I think he had the hardest wreck of the year, by the way, at Kansas.
Yeah, that's true too. And below him was Corey LaJoie, who's not returning to Go Fast Motorsports. Oh, and Levine.
Yeah.
LFR. This, we say farewell to them as well in all this. And that kind of, I felt, got lost.
Yeah, it did. Like I said, a lot of things got lost in this. Like I said, I don't know if it's the producers of the broadcast or what it is, but yeah, unreal, man. A lot of people stepping away.
Yeah. And next race is Daytona, but for the Clash, which is on the road course.
I like how they're going to do that, though. I mean, change things up. I know who I'm putting money on to win it, though.
Oh, is it number 9?
It might be. Oh, I see. You do a little stretch there.
Let's get into some news this week, Ryan.
All right.
Left side. Pull this left rear fender out, left side.
All right, tire rubs, where we go over some news. And I filled this show sheet out yesterday, and I had like maybe 3 news events to talk about. And like just in the last 24 hours, I've added another 4 things to it. So,
Oh, all right. I don't know any of these 4 things, so I'm going to wing it.
kicking things off is Brett Moffitt is out at GMS. He is going to compete with our Motorsports Xfinity team full time in 2021.
And then the Xfinity races that he did show up in this team, top 10, top 15, running all day. So
Yeah, he was very
good
with
for
that team.
Brett to move back up. Yep, yeah, definitely. I can't wait to see big things coming from that team, I hope.
We mentioned Corey LaJoy a little bit earlier, just a few moments ago. He is the leading candidate at Spire Motorsports to take over that ride there. So
Okay.
good to see Corey potentially getting a chance with another team. And Spire has also been in talks with Hendrick Motorsports about buying some parts and equipment from their organization. So he could potentially be upgrading in rides.
Kind of like how the 95 is like with the Gibbs. I can see that happening.
Correct. Moving on, we have Las Vegas. They are keeping 2 cup races through, get this, 2031.
Holy shnikes.
That is a long contract.
And I do remember the last week saying I kind of like, like how, you're a football team, you switch up. I wish they would do that with the Cup Series, I mean. But
It's
2031 is a nice contract.
Yeah, it is, and it's kind of like I'm looking at this going, geez, that's a Tampa Bay Rays and St. Petersburg type contract. They're kind of stuck in that if anything happens.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
And now moving on to the news, Ryan, that you know about already. Next gen testing is going to resume at Charlotte next week for the next gen car. I'm just going to read this little blip from NASCAR. NASCAR announced Wednesday that 2 tests of the next gen stock car for the 2022 Cup Series are scheduled next week at Charlotte Motor Speedway, marking the first time that 2 prototypes of the new model are scheduled to be on the track at the same time. The drivers in this are going to be Kurt Busch and Martin Truex Jr. Monday's test will be on the Roval layout, and Wednesdays will be on the regular 1.5-mile D-shaped oval. Officials will use the Tuesday in-between tests to change track configurations. Cool to see. I hope there's some video that comes out of that. Because I like to see these difference in the 2 cars. From the car that they have pictured here, it looks like it's got the regular 5 lug nuts on it. So just
I remember them saying that they were changing just to 1 lug nut.
And that was earlier this year, and I don't know if that's still going to be a thing, but I'm just saying off the picture that they're showing here, it's a 5 lug nut pattern. So who knows?
Really quickly, Tennessee marched right down that field, by the way. So go ahead.
Okay.
Football.
Jimmy Fenning has been named the executive vice president of competition at Roush Fenway Racing. Good for a guy who's always been there, well known for being the crew chief of Carl Edwards,
Mark Martin.
Just a real good guy in the garage area that you like to see getting a promotion like that. Some other final thoughts or final not retirements, leaves.
News.
Let's just say leaves. For one, Winston Kelly called his final race for MRN at Phoenix on Sunday, which I didn't know until yesterday that was his final race. Just really good to see. He's been there for over 30 years. A real knowable voice when you hear it.
Oh, heck yeah, he was.
And just, I don't know, man. It takes me back to like Barney Hall, Winston Kelly. That's what I remember most about the MRN broadcast. And now both are, unfortunately, Barney Hall is no longer with us and Winston Kelly retiring. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. And man, listening to the radio broadcast, it's like you're actually at the race almost. You turn on the TV and it's like, Oh man, the radio
There was
does.
so much excitement just on lap one.
Yeah, exactly. Lap one and the grief. All right, let's go.
Another person who is, I wouldn't say retiring, but just not returning to where they're at. Chris Devoto will not return to NBC. She wrote that on her Facebook page Saturday morning. Another person who's just been around NASCAR for so long, from as long as I can remember. Just crazy. Just good luck to all.
I think Fox hires Krista back. I honestly do. I think there's something that she brought to that team. Like I think they might have her.
She was really not utilized well with NBC, I feel.
No, and she, like her DJ and KP, I thought had a great chemistry together. Kyle, you can tell. I don't know if you've seen the end of it on Sunday, but he got emotional, a little bit emotional, and same with DJ. That why are you letting her go? So
yeah. In our last bit of news here, Ryan, and this is where I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant myself.
Oh, all right.
NBC Sports NASCAR viewership in 2020 matches 2019, and viewership as a whole was pretty even for this year to 2019. And I just asked this one question: what happened to those people who said they weren't going to watch NASCAR anymore?
That is a damn good question, AJ.
I thought you weren't going to watch anymore, because with the viewership matching what it was last year for NBC, which is when the toss to NBC is kind of when this all started. I saw a lot of people on social media say they weren't going to watch anymore, after some events that had happened. I just say, did you lie, or were you doing exactly what I said last year, or not last year, when this first came out, and you weren't watching anyway? You hadn't been watching for a while. Like, if for someone who is really involved in watching NASCAR week in, week out, to say something like that would shock me. It's easy if you haven't been watching for either several years or a couple years, what have you, to say that you're not going to watch anymore. And this proves it. Viewership matching what it was last year for NBC just proves that in a whole. Just my little rant.
Yeah, and how about the Darlington race, the first race back, the viewership for that? I'm going to continue your thoughts, but the incident at Talladega, we all know about. People on social media, I'm not going to watch because they're getting behind this guy, yada yada yada, and so on and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But yet they were still commenting on Facebook, on Twitter. I thought you weren't going to watch, like you said. Yeah. You know what it's called? I can't think of the exact word, but it's like two-sided. There it is, two-sided. Yeah. Dumb.
Ryan, I'm right there with you, man.
I'm not gonna watch. I'm not gonna watch.
That's all I got for news, Ryan.
Yeah.
All right, you ready for some social media?
Yeah. Yes.
Let me.
Keep looking at the mirrors.
Wait, the wrong one.
Uh-oh.
Social media. It's the last official episode of the year. Just give me a break. We are at 2,206 downloads on Podbean, iTunes, and Stitcher, 344 followers on Twitter, 80 likes on Facebook, and 25 subscribers on YouTube. New follower shoutouts this week include Stream Cheese at Stream_Cheese, CJ Hoffman at CJ68720. We have Brian at StormingB81, Bruce Sickler at Big Daddy B66, the Gas and Go podcast at Podcast Gas, which is a segment on our show. So that's interesting.
I like that.
We're gonna change that segment name now that there's a podcast named after it. We have finally the Dirty Racing podcast at Dirty Racing Cast. So make sure you give those two podcasts a listen.
Yes, definitely.
And I will as well. Podcast shoutouts this week include the Lap Traffic Podcast, PTM Racing Podcast, 3 Wide NASCAR Podcast, which EG3, who was in our chat earlier, he is the host of, and the Final Lap Weekly. Some places you can find us on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. In your search bar, search the Loose Lugs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe, follow, turn on that notification bell so you can hear the siren ring in Dawsonville, or if Ryan will display right now for me.
I was going to crack open a beer, but I already have one open, but ding ding.
Yeah, you can hear all that if you hit that notification bell, I'm sure. On Twitter, we are at Lugs Podcast. You can tweet us about the show using the hashtag LugsPod, and on Facebook, in your search bar, the Loose Lugs Podcast. Our personal Twitter accounts, myself is at Grey Goose F150, and Ryan?
Rn Cola 88.
Ryan, it is time for your rant.
Yes.
You said you didn't have a rant. You had a question. You've already asked that question, but please reiterate it for everyone listening.
All right, guys, we know what happened. Thank you again, AJ. Guys, we know what 2020 has brought us, this whole COVID issue.
Like Kyle Busch said, it's 2020.
That's right, it is 2020. Question to ask all you listeners out there, people in the chat, AJ, you included. Your moment of 2020. And like I said, we started out with the bang. We had the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, give the command, take a lap in that. What was the name of that car again, AJ? His limo. They had a special name for it.
Sorry,
Anyways.
the Beast. I forgot I was muted.
Oh, yeah. So what was the name of that car again?
Yeah, it's the Beast.
The Beast. All right. To it being rained out Monday night, primetime television. Great finish. Newman, scary wreck. Walking out of the hospital. To the COVID break. To coming back. The first sport back. Live. NASCAR. Great ratings. To the Bubba Wallace stuff with what's going on. William Byron winning his first race. Great championship. What was your moment of the year?
You just mentioned like all my moments in one.
Because this has been an unpredictable year. How about the pass that Cole Custer made at Kentucky to get that first win? The great battle between Joey and Chase at Bristol, taking each other out. I mean, there was just so many moments. The retirements, the Jimmy Johnsons, the Clint Boyers. I mean, there's just so many.
Can I just say my most memorable moment is just this 2020 season as a whole? Like,
Yeah, why not?
Let's put it this way. I mean, just throwing things out there. Kyle Busch getting that win at Texas. I've never seen so many people, myself included, happy to see Kyle Busch win.
I was more happy to see him win. Sorry, Eddie, than MTJ that race. Sorry, Eddie.
There's just so many moments as a fan standpoint, that moment just last weekend with Chase and Jimmy there at the end, where I felt it was the passing of the torch, and then it's reiterated on the broadcast. I'm like, it's a passing of the torch. The dominance of NASCAR is Jimmy Johnson. 5 straight championships, 7-time champion, and it's like in that moment where Chase wins the championship, in Jimmy Johnson's final race, it's like, there it is. Here's the keys to the kingdom, like I said earlier. And coming back from COVID, that was awesome.
Incredible.
Steve Phelps, when he pulled all the cars to the front stretch at Atlanta.
Yep.
And he gave a social justice speech. That was awesome. We go to the president at Daytona, like you said, gets to take a pace lap around Daytona with all the cars falling behind him, which in of itself was amazing, but then comes on the official radio to all drivers and wishes them all a great, safe race. Like
tweeting too of the Ryan Newman wreck too. He did tweet about that.
Yeah, like it's just, there was so many things this year in 2020 that stand out. I can't single it to just one. Ryan, for you personally, William Byron winning.
Waking up the wife, scaring the hell out of her. Yeah. Anyways, I have 2 of them. That was one of them. But the top moment for me of this year, that's 3. How about that then? 3. But the number one moment for me, and it brought a tear to my eye, was when all the drivers, crew chiefs, officials united to stand behind Bubba Wallace and push that car to the front of the field. that was emotional. That was my moment of the year. Yes, the Byron win, Daytona, was awesome. I think there's going to be many more wins in his future. But for NASCAR community as a whole to get behind one man because of what we all know in the end was there for a long doing, but for them to push that car to the front, to see the emotion on his face, to see the king there, to see all the drivers hug him, high five him afterwards was incredible.
And how fitting was it that Kyle Busch led it?
Yeah,
Kyle, last year's champion.
Kyle and Jimmy were the first, and I think it was Kevin Harvick as well. He's like, I don't care. They all were like, don't care about you guys that were pushing this car to the front of the field.
Yeah.
Awesome job by NASCAR as a whole. The drivers and people like, oh yeah, the ratings for that were incredible. Sports Center let it off with it. That shows you how powerful of a thing this was. And now you see Michael Jordan. That's right, Michael Jordan. Tony, maybe you can tell me how many titles he won. I don't care. But to see Michael Jordan into the sport now, to form the team with Denny Hamlin, just shows you the diversity that's coming into the sport. And I am happy.
Eddie said in the chat that you and him have already talked about that with Kyle winning.
Yeah, we have that. We have Eddie. And Eddie, let's give kudos to Eddie. Going to Kansas and freezing, but enjoying a race. You two are the only two that went to a race this year. I'm kind of sad about that.
Sorry about that.
Damn you! Damn you, COVID!
I think that is a fitting way to end Ryan's rant on the year.
Damn you, COVID!
Until our next one. Let's go to white flag.
All right.
Keep working the mirrors. In line with you. Coming to the white. Only two.
The sound clip that I thought was social media, apparently, earlier. Normally on this segment, we give our predictions for the upcoming race weekend, but because the next race weekend is not until next year, last week I picked the only champion with number 9. Just a quick recap: Ryan picked Zane Smith or Grant Enfinger in the Truck Series. I picked Zane Smith. We both picked Chase Briscoe. I picked the 9 of Chase Elliott to win the Cup Championship, and Ryan picked Joey Logano to win that one. So just let's give you a rundown of what's coming up for us. We're planning on having Eddie on the show the next time we record, which is going to be sometime before Christmas, maybe Christmas week. So we're going to have a collab episode with Eddie coming up in the near future. We're just going to have to work out all the details and all that. And it'll just be just a random podcast. A lot of people say they enjoy our first segment where it's just banter the entire time. So it'll probably be just a show of all banter for 45 minutes to an hour. We plan on coming back next year for 2021. After every Cup race week, we will be recording. That is going to start before the Clash next year. So that Thursday before, we will do our Clash preview. The week after the Clash, we'll do our predictions for the year. Our preview extravaganza, as Ryan likes to say. That's all of our plans for next year. Sorry we didn't record more this year. We would have loved to. I would have loved to. It's just my schedule was so busy this year.
Working on air conditioning in Florida, we understand.
Especially during the times that we had just went through. It was a little crazy there. Plans for the off season. I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna work my tail off. I'm gonna play softball when I get a free second too. I'm gonna spend it with family, friends. Can't wait for the holiday season. I might do a little bit streaming, but yeah, the shameless plug. You can find me on Twitch, SOB Goon, GOON, on Twitch when I stream. I usually stream iRacing, Among Us, and I've been streaming some NHL lately too. I'm sure when the new COD comes out and I get that, we'll stream that as well. That's it for me. So Ryan, what you got?
Like you said, man, I'm getting ready for the holidays. Thanksgiving, getting ready for the silly season is what we like to call it, the holidays, Christmas. Just spend it with family. No NASCAR now. Enjoy my NFL Red Zone every Sunday. Awesome to show if you guys are football fans. NFL Network, they do a Red Zone. It's 7 hours of commercial-free football. That's right. Scott Hansen is a great host. I have to do a plug to Scott Hansen. Great host. Gets into the games, and every Sunday I love doing it now. Obviously, with the season being over, looking forward to 2021. Like you said, I know we're going to be doing a show here a couple of weeks with the EG3, but health and happiness to everybody. I know this has been a terrible year with the COVID and what's going on.
Yep,
I know I'm going to continue to work where I'm working at Wensco. Great company to work for, awesome people. Just trying to stay healthy, teach Logan more. Logan's favorite word now, besides touchdown now, is bye-bye. He loves going, bye. He goes, bye. I'm like, Logan, you want to go bye-bye? And he goes, bye-bye. Or I guess Sarah asked him when he goes poop. She's like, Logan, did you poop? And he goes, poop, poop. I'm like, yeah, all right.
All right, we're getting a little off the rails now.
I know, but just continue to help out with Logan and ready for 2021 Daytona. 93 days away. Can't wait.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ryan, stay with me here, but go ahead and hit him with it. Stay with me till you're done, though.
I know we're going to be there, but we will see you at the track.
Special thanks to Patrick, Tony, Eddie for all coming out in the chat, talking with us a little bit. Thank you for tuning in this week. If you tuned in live, even if you didn't comment, thank you for downloading this on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher. Thank you all for listening to this. We hope you continue listening with us. Ryan, one more thing before I go.
All right, we got to do it.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers to 2020.
Cheers.
One of our drivers winning the championship. Here you go, buddy. Cheers.
3 few go. Woo! Hendrick's going to be strong.
We'll see y'all in a couple weeks. We're out of here. See ya.